So here's the backsplash we're going to put up. Here's some that I put up last night. So we're going to finish this corner off here right now. Sometimes you can put a hardy backer board. I used an oil-based primer paint. It's good enough that it'll stick pretty good to that. I noticed I got a little bit of a high spot there. I'm going to hit that down with a hammer.
Oh, that's how you push it in.
So for a finished edge, we get it's called a main manufacturer's Schluter. A Schluter strip comes in different thicknesses for different thicknesses tile. I think this is an off-brand that I got here at Home Depot. So our wall is ready. We got our mortar in here, and I've pre-cut all of the tile that's going to go in this spot. So it's all ready to go. You don't want to get your mortar up there and then be messing around cutting tiles. So we'll just put this mortar, you can see, you want it thin enough so you can work with it, but thick enough that it kind of sticks. It's about the consistency of toothpaste. And then we'll use a notch trowel. It's a 1/4 inch notch, and that gives you a good consistent thickness of mortar.
Oh, yeah.
Some spots are a little harder to get into the corners. You want to make sure you got enough to cover that. You may see I got the electrical connectors out.
Yeah.
Actually, the power is off of this, but I always pull them out and wrap tape around the exposed screws so that the power would accidentally turned on, or I were to touch it, I wouldn't get shocked.
Oh.
And I just leave the tape on there because it's going to go back in there, and it won't hurt anything. Okay. So we'll start in the corner. We've got it already notched and fitted, and this will just kind of presses into the mortar, like so.
And it looks like individual.
Joints are, I'll put little spacers in. The sheets come already glued together, so
why do you need the spacers if they're all glued together?
well, between the sheets.
Oh, between the two
sheets,
sheets. Oh,
just to make sure
they don't get too close.
they don't get too close. Yeah. And you can have some variation after you grout. You don't see a little bit, but you don't want to have a lot of variation in the gaps. Let's see if I cut this to the right length. That looks pretty good.
Perfect.
separate piece.
And how long do you have to work with that mortar before it starts to dry?
You got probably half an hour, 45 minutes. Yeah, you wouldn't want to go more than that. And it'll stay
In the bucket, when it's in a lump, it'll stay good for probably longer, you know, maybe an hour. But once it's scraped out on here and it's thin, that in 15 minutes it'll start to harden. And then when you go to push it in, it won't really move. You want it soft enough to it'll kind of move and squeeze into the tile.
It's
And these are the spacers, tile spacers, 3/16 inch.
These spacers are actually supposed to go the other direction.
What do you mean other direction?
Well, they're supposed to go, the 3/16 is this width here and go this way, but actually the flat part of it fits what these tiles were spaced at pretty good. So, all right, one more piece. And you get, here's an example of some mortar that's squeezed out.
Yeah, squeeze out the
And
top.
you just, I don't even mess with it now. When it dries, you just take a knife, like a
And then like
a
just
putty
scrape
knife and
this
scrape
off.
it, or just a cold chisel if you have to. You don't want to hit it too hard, but
No.
you can scrape it off, and then where it squeezes out through here, I got a little tool, carbide tool, that you can get in there and scrape it out so that when you put your grout back in, there's a groove. Sometimes it fills up the groove. So you don't want too much mortar on there, and it'll fill all your grooves up. It'll get messy, and of course you don't have enough. You won't have enough for it to stick to. So you should get some spacers in here.
Do you need to wait a certain length of time before you can put the grout on?
Well, it's nice to wait like overnight.
Oh, okay, like 24 hours maybe.
But if you did this in the morning, you could probably come back and grout in the afternoon.
Okay, I'm gonna watch you put one of those spacers in. See the spacer?
This is where there was a joint.
You just push them in there.
And that's it.
Looks good. All of this that David did last night has set overnight, and now we're going to mix up the grout, and it has to sit for 10 minutes, and then we're going to put it on here and squish it in those tiny spaces. But I know that's not what David calls it. I don't know how you say it, but we're going to put it on, mash it in, and then wipe it off. It's great. This is what we're going to put on. He's mixed it up, and it's going to sit for 10 minutes. This is the grout, poly blend, La 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 la. Color somewhere, but anyway, this is it. Non-sanded. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna do it. No, you had some extra on there, so you just put it over there on the side
Yeah.
to get it off, because you're going to use it there anyway.
This is a bit of a pain.
To have to go around the outlet.
Yeah,
It'd be nice
should-
to have a smaller brush or smaller something to do that.
yeah, they should have left more wire so that it could come out farther.
Oh, come out, yeah, come out farther. You can use your finger.
You just have to use your finger.
That's what I was just thinking.
For 20 minutes. This it'll get firm,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come over it with the wet sponge,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to just keep rinsing the sponge and rinsing the sponge and rinsing the sponge until you get it all off. You can look and see if there's any holes.
I saw one. Oh, you got it.
Joints seem smooth there. We're over here, there's like lumps. So when you first start going, you're actually smoothing that out in the joints. All right, and you're trying to get the big chunks off of the face. You don't want any big pieces of mortar on the covering up over top of the tile.
Over this part.
You're right.
Okay.
So you're really looking at making sure you don't have any holes like that,
Yeah.
and then getting a nice smooth look to it.
But can you wipe some of this over and fill in that hole, or are you gonna have to go
No,
back?
there's not enough to wipe
Oh, you'll
to
have
fill
go
it
back.
in. But then this gets real dirty real quick, so you just got to keep wiping and rinsing,
Yeah.
wiping and rinsing, and work methodically. Now, see how that's really got a lot on the tile still, and then you get it clean.
You just do it until it's clean.
Yeah. See, then when I get down here, I had a